Hi, hello, and welcome. I'm definitely not Vlad, and you're watching me pug my way to 3K rating on a Blood DK in Dragonflight Season 4. Since the last time I recorded, I ran an LFR. I got a trinket out of it, and that's pretty much it. I guess I got some flight stones too, but that's not exactly something to write home about. Now, at the end of the last episode, I mentioned that I'm going to be probably running some keys. Oh, details says that there's a bug happening, which means I need to update all of my add-ons real quick, do a reload, and hopefully that fixes it. There we go. It's already not complaining again. Never mind, I lied. Okay, maybe it's just having an issue with the data that was stored there previously. I'm going to close that and hope for the best. Now, you may notice something a little bit different about the WeakAuras, and that is the fact that there is now a red bar underneath, and that is basically my health. I don't have any numbers on it or anything like that. I basically just added it here so that I don't have to look over here while I'm trying to manage my resources. Health is a resource for a BDK. Well, it's a resource for any tank, really. But with Blood Shield and Anti-Magic Shell, so if I use Anti-Magic Shell here, I can see the actual amount that I'm absorbing. So 767k. This will tell me the absorb. It's not going to tell me the absorb type. Maybe I should work that into the WeakAura, but for now, I think I'm good. I think I got a little distracted now. What was I saying? Ah, yes. At the end of the last episode, basically, I was talking about how I might do other dungeon runs while I'm not recording. I have done no such thing, but I did think of something, and that is, I could just stream those extra dungeon runs that I don't record. Because it's not that I find an issue recording, I find an issue finding the time to edit those runs. Because it takes me a lot longer to edit a run than it does to actually just record it. So I was thinking maybe I should just stream those. That way you guys can see that I'm still pugging and doing everything I said I would for the series, and I don't have to feel guilty about it. So yeah, in my description, there will be a link to the Twitch stream that I will be running. I'll write in the description when exactly I'll be streaming because I don't have that figured out yet, but if you want to watch me stream some more Blood DK gameplay or some other random stuff I do, the link is in the description. Now, I have an Azure Vault. I don't really want to do an Azure Vault because I've already done an Azure Vault. It is a +2. Maybe I should do it on +3 at least. I was thinking about just getting everything done, so I might just actually apply to some of these runs. I think the easy ones to do would be the ones that were in Season 2, because those I have a lot of experience with, like Uldaman, Algeth'ar, Halls of Infusion. Those I could run, I think. So I think I'm going to actually do that. I'm going to drop my key to a 3, and that way I can re-roll it when I queue up for a 3 and do those dungeons. So I'll see you in whatever I get into. We are in a Halls of Infusion +4, actually. We got invited to this. I'm quite happy about that. We do have 2 other Death Knights in the group, so we have 1 of each spec, actually. I find that kind of funny. All right, well, we have everything we need. What I really want to do is make sure that we keep interrupting that thingy thing with the stuffy stuff. The X-Pulse. There we go. We're going to Gnef Grip that. I'm going to keep going. This is where I'll stop, and we are nice and safe here. I should have plenty of ways to stop these from going off, and by these I mean the X-Pulses. I have grips, I have blinding sleet, I have my kick, so as long as we don't pull too many of those orbs, we should be just fine. The groups blasting the DPS, specifically the Beastmastery Hunters, kind of kicking ass. That's pretty nice to see. Now there's 1 orb here. We're going to grip this demoralizing shout because we really don't want the 20% damage reduction that it does. Or not 20%, sorry. It's actually 50%? What is it? I don't actually know. I don't know. Well, let's not find out by not letting a single one of them go through. How's that? I like that idea. The explosives are much more important than that, though, because the explosives, especially on Fortified, I should say, the explosives are actually murderous. They really, really, really hurt. If you're a paladin here, you can give Blessing of Freedom to someone, and it'll prevent the containment beams from being cast on someone. It's actually pretty neat because those containment beams are actually they're a slow. So if someone's immune to slows by having Blessing of Freedom on them, they can't actually be hit by the containment beam. So yeah, just pro tip, I guess. And also as a warrior, you can spell reflect those. So that's also nice. Trying to make sure I have aggro here. I also really need to build up my thingy thing with the stuffy stuff. I think the group might be able to blast the next pull. I'm going to move these just a little bit because there's a binding shot up. I need to get back in range because I can death strike. But there's a binding shot up, so I wanted to move away. That way they can actually just get stunned. All right, we're going to pull both of these groups because I'm feeling, I don't know, like taking a risk. We're going to do this. Gonna use some defensives here. I have grippy hands. Everything should be nicely grouped up. When I see some kind of nasty actually that's a lot of numbers on my screen that I don't know how to actually process from all the damage I'm doing and all of the all the other stuff. Okay, the Moralizing Roar. They got sleeted by one of the other DKs. We need to make sure that we keep ourselves alive. I actually dropped my Bone Shield. That's not great. Should have gotten one more out when I was near the end of my Dancing Blade, weapon of magic runes. I think last episode I said Dancing Rude Weapon, and people pointed it out in comments and on Discord. I found that quite funny. All right, so for this boss, what we're going to do is we're going to move him quite a bit away from the center. That way we actually, oh, I hope I didn't mess that up for the Frost DK. He kind of used his Drake there, but we're going to move him away from the center. Why? Because if you move him away from the center, when he hits 15% and tries to move back to the center, you actually have some extra time to beat the crap out of him. You can usually squeeze out like a whole percent, depending on the difficulty, of course. If you're doing like a, I don't know, a 15 or something, obviously you're not going to get as much percentage out of it as you would in a +2 or whatever. Okay, we need to move just a little bit. I'm trying to stay in my D&D to keep getting the extra damage from Shattering Bones, but I don't want to force our ranged or other melee DPS to stand in this thing or the circle that was dropped. He's at 17%, so soon he will be doing his thing. People need to run away again. I can't help them in any way to do this. So Spark Wally coming through. We're going to move away like this. Nice and easy. See, he's running back and we get 0.7%. Very good. We're going to use Grippy Hands here. I'm going to grip that one that's really far away, like so. Drop D&D on him and try to blow him up. I'm going to use all my offensives here. We're going to sleep them as well to stop them from casting. And now I can't do much anymore. Okay, they need to blow up on him. Okay, we have one person go down from the circles exploding. There we go. I think he got messed up by his own grippy hands, but it's no big deal. Now I don't need to move him away from the center anymore. We're all good. Now, the reason you want to explode those ads as quickly as possible, thingy thing. Sorry, my brains. Somebody said something, so I was confused. Anyway, the reason we want to kill those ads as quickly as possible is because he keeps gaining stacks of this buff here that you see on his nameplate. The more stacks he gets, the more damage he will do. Like the Static Surge will do a lot of damage. Icebound Fortitude being used by our friend here who was really low. That was a good call. He needed that extra survivability. It's 30% DR, not bad. 8 million HP. I'm gonna drop my Dancing Rune weapon here because the next pull isn't that scary and I want to do a little bit of extra damage here. Make sure I kill this boss a little bit more quickly. Are we out of this? We are not out of this. We're just gonna keep moving. Drop a D&D here. Okay, Static Surge is coming through, so we just want to kill him now because I can't move him anymore. Okay, cool. Path of Frost is on. We can move across the water. A cool thing they did is now you can actually like heroic leap and stuff over to that side, and you can carry people across and all that good stuff. You used to not be able to do that, but now you can. You can leap from here to here. You can do heroic leap. Evokers can do the rescue thing, all sorts of stuff. I'm gonna drop a D&D here because there is a Skulking Zealot. We really want to kick that Elementalist or Shock Trooper Elemental something. We want to make sure we kick that. Why? Because it will turn their auto attacks into Chain Lightning, and those really hurt. So you gotta, like on Fortified, those are group wipers. You really gotta make sure you take care of that. I'm stopping here because dragging them along isn't really all that fun. Being a little bit careless with my HPs, we're gonna drop another D&D here because it is again a Skulking Zealot. I know where all of them are hiding. They will stun you if you don't reveal them, so be careful about that. As a DK, it's not that scary considering the fact that you have your stun immunity, right? But if it's on cooldown from having used it to survive something, could be an issue. We see Grippy Hands coming out from the other DKs. I'm going to stand here and fight just these three because they're very, very buggy. Like super duper buggy, and it will just randomly start evading. So I'm just gonna minimize the pain in the assery of these guys by just standing here and beating them to death on the spot. It's a small pull, it's only 3 enemies, but it's just, you know, it turns out better than letting them start evading and then you can't do anything about it. So let's see if we can find our friends here. There we go, we found them. Somebody paid the price, but we're gonna drag those into here. We're gonna use Grippy Hands to group up the Swoglets. Very nice. We're gonna kick that Dazzle. We're gonna grip this Dazzle. I'm going to go ahead and use some Death Strikes to make sure that my Absorb Shield is nice and huge and thick so we don't go down. I'm actually a big fan of this WeakAuras ad. It's nice to be able to keep track of how many actually, whatchamacallit, we need to sleep this. And this one's gonna cast next. You can see I've added the WeakAuras that shows me the cooldowns of their abilities. It's also useful to know whether or not they've actually used them already. As you can see there, I was able to figure out that this one's gonna cast because he hasn't cast yet. Obviously you can just do that without having to think about it too much, but I could have moved them there because there was a binding shot, but here, I'll move the Zealot. Is that a bug? It's just showing me that it has that without actually Yeah, never mind. I'm gonna kick the first cast because... Oh, the hunter beat me to it. Nice. Yeah, but yeah, I wanted to kick the first cast because it's gonna take a while for them to get it to 50%. When they get it to 50%, that is actually when whatchamacallit, the heal cast comes through. Now I'm looking for the heal cast. I don't care about anything else. Actually, I'm gonna trust the hunter and the others to kick the heal cast, and I'm just gonna kick the other casts. The Paretic Burst actually hurts, kind of. Yeah, see, people are looking for that heal cast. They know about it. So I may as well just do something else. I'm gonna look at the caster, actually, and try to focus some damage on them. Keep kicking those Paretic Bursts, moving them out so the other melee DPS can keep DPSing, because it was in the middle of the thingy thing with the stuffy stuff. Yeah, you see I have a huge absorbed shield, but I recently learned in a comment on my last video that a blood shield is actually just physical damage absorb. I thought it was an anything damage absorb, so that's my bad. It turns out it is only physical. Yeah, see, physical damage. But that's no biggie. So for this boss, the first time he does overpowering croak, you can just stand there, because his next cast after overpowering croak is going to be gulp thing. If you let him just do the gulp thing, he will immediately swallow the swoglets. So we're gonna try and group them up by using this. I'm gonna use anti-magic shell. Hopefully I can immune this. It looks like somebody else got swallowed. I'm not sure, but you do need to stay inside of the gulp. If he doesn't gulp anyone, any player, even if they immune it, he will enrage and it'll hurt. So you don't want him to enrage. He will beat your ass and it will not be fun. Now, the second time he does overpowering croak and he drops the adds in, you need to run across the room with him. Why? Because he won't immediately cast the gulp after that. So what you need to do is run across the room and let those little guys catch up. By the time they actually reach you, he will be casting gulp, and then they will immediately get gulped up, and you don't have to actually deal with them. See, there's the gulp, very nice, and they get gulped. So this is how you deal with this boss. It trivializes it. People don't need to run around and kite like crazy. You just kind of run him across the room, and you're good. Here's another belly slam. I'm gonna try and get back in my D&D. It didn't really work out, but it's not a big deal. Hunter is doing a really good job of staying close to the boss in case he gets a circle from the overpowering croak. I'm gonna ping that I'm going in this direction. People can already tell that I'm going in this direction. It doesn't help that someone's using grippy hands. We have 3 DKs running grippy hands. We also have one of these rings of peace, and rings of peace can keep you very safe in this encounter by just giving you a very safe spot to stand while the froglets are trying to get to you. Here's a belly slam. I don't think we have to deal with another overpowering croak. Maybe we do, but he will die very soon. He or she, I don't actually know. Here's an overpowering croak. By the way, if you want to use defensives on this fight, you use them during the overpowering croak, because that's what actually does a lot more damage than anything else to the group, right? So if you want to make it easy for the healer, you just use your defensive on the overpowering croak. We're gonna use Death's Caress and a taunt to make sure that we keep aggro on the dragon. I don't want to overpull for the dragon. I can't really pull anything other than the whatchamacallit, thingy thing with the stuffy stuff, the other dragon, and I don't want to pull 2 dragons. It is tyrannical, but it just stresses the healer out. Double deep chill really hurts. 1 deep chill really hurts, and we don't have revival off cooldown. So deep chill is an AoE slow and dot. Another useful tech with paladin here is you can give freedom to someone to completely prevent them from taking damage from the deep chill, right? It won't even apply to them. Sure, they'll take the initial damage. I'm going to use grippy hands here. I'm going to use, what's this thing called? Vampiric Embrace. Sorry. Trying to talk about 3 different things. I need to clean up my nameplate situation a little bit. I can't really tell what's going on here. Like, there's too many debuffs being shown. I don't need half of these debuffs. Ooh, okay. That was really close. I needed to have anti-magic shell for that. That was my bad. I'm talking about my nameplates instead of talking about what I should be doing to survive, or focusing on actually surviving it. Again, I needed to use an anti-magic shell there. Oceanic Breath. We're hoping we don't have to. There we go. Okay. I didn't have to use anti-magic shell there, so I can use it in the next one. I'm gonna run out of thingy thing with the stuffy stuff. Bone shields charges here. I can use thingy thing. Vampiric Embrace at the start of this pull to make sure I can survive nice and safe. I don't care so much about the deep chill, but the oceanic breath that's coming through right now, that's what I'm gonna use my anti-magic shell on. Keep dropping those D&Ds. I really want to be standing in a D&D right now. Next time I get hit, I can use Dancing Rune Weapon. That's what we're going to do. For the next boss, I'm not too worried. Like, next boss isn't that scary for me. What's scary for me are these trash mobs right here, because magic damage, and I don't have anti-magic shell right now, but I was able to death strike my way through it. Should have used something to generate Bone Shield before my Dancing Rune weapon went out, but unfortunately I didn't think of it in time. I was too busy commentating about the game. We're going to hide around this one. I'm going to try and set it up so that the melee DPS can continue DPSing. What you do that by just standing really close to the shield. And then what you can do is you can just move behind this thing. There we go. When she starts casting the, whatchamacallit, Hailstorm. And then when you get behind this, you can actually keep DPSing her. See, I can still use my melee attacks on her. There you go. Everyone figured it out. It's very important here as well to make sure that you don't send the tornado that she does into the new ice ones. We're gonna hide behind that one. Frost Cyclone is gonna hit this and it's gonna explode it. Okay, it didn't hit it. Hailstorm, I wasn't able to move her over to the thing. We really need to move behind here. Ideally, I would move her over to the thing, but I don't actually know the positioning of the new good crystals by heart. Glacial Surge is what spawns in new crystals. That one's all messed up. That's not one we want to use. This one's good though. I'm gonna move over here, gonna drop a D&D. There we go. Very nice. Move her a little bit closer. There you go. I can Death Strike. Make sure I'm nice and healthy. Beautiful. Frost Cyclone going out. Nobody's pointing it at the crystal. Very good. Hailstorm is going to come through and you can keep DPSing. All the melee DPS can keep DPSing. There's Hailstorm. There we go. We just keep beating the crap out of her even through the Hailstorm. This helps kill the boss quicker, which helps you survive it because it's just really hard for the healer to keep the group up. This is an extremely healing intensive boss. We're going to hide behind this one so people know where to go. Frost Cyclone might hit that one. I'm just going to move away so I don't get hit by that. There we go. Hailstorm coming through. Really important we don't stand in the swirly. It's kind of sketchy spot. I'm not a big fan of it, but it worked out and she should be dead. Very nice. Really good positioning by yours truly. I'm actually pretty proud of this run. Our unholy DK seems to be lagging behind a bit in the DPS department. Let's take a look at what his item level is. 487 it looks like, so they should be doing a bit more DPS than they are, I think. I don't know, maybe. I'm not really sure, but we're timing this just fine, so it doesn't really matter, does it? I just gripped that one thing because it was really far behind. Okay, we pulled this as well. I'm going to use all my defensives here just to make sure I survive. I'm going to use grippy hands, deep chills coming through. I got to prepare for the upcoming oceanic breath here. Really make sure that I'm pumping out my HPS, which means I need runic power. I got lucky there. I got to move out of this. There was a stomp, but it was really weird. Like you saw it clip through. I might edit to show you what I mean. But it clipped through the ground and it looked weird. The reason this dragon was pulled was because the Frost DK's like dragon, when it went out, it actually hit the dragon in the background. So I had no intentions of actually pulling this with the rest of the stuff that I was pulling, but it just kind of worked out that way. Now we need a death grip here, or not a death grip, a death strike. I'm just trying to really make sure I heal myself up a lot of physical damage coming through. We need more bone shield charges. We're going to use, oh boy, need AoE CC here. Okay, we worked it out. Whew, okay, now here comes the real boss of the dungeon whenever you do this on Fortified, which is this Infusion Saria. That inundate hits like a truck, and you should be careful. Somebody kicked this, very nice. My kick was on cooldown, so I couldn't do it right away. Flash Flood coming through. You can stand in it with, with Dev's Advance. You won't get knocked back, but what will happen is you will take a shit ton of damage, because that thing really hurts. Especially, like I said, on Fortified, this Infuser Saria is really rough. Those inundates, if you have defensives, you use them right there. It's a really good idea. We're gonna kick that. Okay, I pressed every button in a panic trying to interrupt that. I should have just death gripped it. But we really don't want that tidal divide to go through, because what it does is it turns into a bunch of little mobs, and then they actually kind of hurt. Inundate coming through yet again. You can see that it chunks the group even on Tyrannical, and this is a low Tyrannical. It's like a 4, so like a 14 in season 3 for perspective or for context, but overall not a very high key, but it still chunks. So you can imagine on Fortified, when the mobs are buffed instead of the boss, that hurts. Gotta make sure I get really nice and close to the boss, like so. And we're going to go ahead and use Dancing Rune weapon here. Tempest Fury coming out, which means I'm going to use my anti-magic shell here. Gotta make sure I step out of these, stay nice and far away from them. I don't want to have to move out of them, because what I need to make sure I do here is just survive this. I needed my anti-magic shell for this. What I need to make sure I do here is stand in melee range of the boss. I just used my grippy hands right as we went into the intermission, which now happens at 60%. In season 2, it used to be on a set timer, but now it's at 60%, and it only happens once. But yeah, I need to stay in melee range, otherwise other melee will get punched. And when those orbs come out, DPS can move away. I can't. I have to stay in melee range. Otherwise, somebody else might get punched if they're in melee range and I'm not. I'm gonna use really quick this thing that got kicked. I'm gonna taunt it. I'm gonna death grip. I'm gonna death grip, and I'm going to hope people interrupt these. We're gonna use blinding sleet here. We really want to make sure that these guys get interrupted when they're casting their their inundate, because they will hurt on tyrannical. So if you want to interrupt all of them, you better be sure that you have enough CC to actually keep them CC'd while you're interrupting them. And in the previous season, like in season 2 I should say, what people would do is they would just leave them up and deal with them one at a time so that they don't have to like chain CC them. Squall Buffet's coming through. What I should have I'm so stupid. What I should have done there was used my knockback. I really need a CR quickly. Okay, there's the CR. Anti-magic shell, need bone shield. That was completely my bad, but we have the CRs to deal with it. These little circles are such a pain in the ass. What I needed to do there was, well, pretty much anything other than that. I needed to stay in range, which means I should have used my speed up is what I should have used. I need my death strikes here. Sorry, I'm really messing this up because this is actually kind of hard to survive as a tank. Trying to say what I need to do instead of actually doing it. I'm going to shut up for a second here so we don't go down on the last boss, Tempest Fury. I don't really care about that. I don't have a CR available. Infused Globules coming through. It's dead soon, so I don't have to worry about that. That was rough. That was pretty rough, I gotta admit. But we got through. Nobody can actually CR, it looks like. So people are going to have to release. But let's see if we got a piece of loot. We did not. We got some gold. Okay, so what went wrong there? What I was trying to say the entire time while also struggling to survive was I needed to use Def's Advance so don't get knocked back. That's what I was trying to say. And I'm going to re-roll my key now and see if I get something else that I need. I got an Algeth'ar Academy. I haven't done Algeth'ar Academy, so let's go do that. Here we go with a Algeth'ar Academy +3. That was the key I had that I re-rolled while I was into Halls of Infusion. Also, I finally added the action tracker down here. I was asked to do so on Discord. I forgot about it. Usually I do that during my setup, like when I start a new character, but I forgot to do it this time around. I've asked the group to give me some time while I group everything up. We're going to go ahead and just drop a D&D over there and do one of these over here and do a taunt over here. Nobody should be doing anything. I'm going to use grippy hands, tombstone to get a bit of extra health. Now the healer started doing hots and shit and died because they weren't really using their noggin. Now it would really help if people actually understood what I mean by saying waiting for things, but oh well, what can you do? D&D won't be of much use to me here considering the fact that things are going to keep me moving because of these swirlies. Oh, I need big dev strikes here. I need a lot of runic power. We're going to drop a D&D here just to slow things down and leave them behind me. Alright, now I should have plenty of runic power. As I have my dancing rune weapon yet again, we're going to drop another D&D to slow things. The reason I say D&D to slow things is because well, basically, it slows things. I have Grip of the Dead or whatever, and then things don't actually manage to get to me. One way to avoid damage is to, well, quite literally avoid damage by running away. This shaman hates me right now, I'll tell you that much, but there's no real other way for me to survive this pull, so they're gonna have to deal with it. I say they hate me because they have Earthquake, and they want to use Earthquake, but I can't let them or use Earthquake because I have to move. Now, maybe I didn't need to move quite as much as I did, but I would rather survive and lower the damage of the shaman than die so the shaman can blast and then die without actually clearing anything. Okay, that was a little bit nerve-wracking. 2 deaths went down, but we cleared it, and that's all that matters. I used my purgatory to get through it, and now the boss fight can begin. A lot of people really don't like this boss fight. I haven't done it on M+ yet, as a tank at least, so I'm a little bit nervous myself, but I think everyone here seems to know that they need to kind of stack up. You need to come here because Germinate is going to mess things up for us if you don't do that. Okay, there we go. Now the idea is we all group so that we can all drop these. We're all nice and close and dandy. Okay, I need to move the boss into the center. We're not meant to drop all our cooldowns into these because this isn't yet where things get hairy. It's a bit of a bait if you use your cooldowns to clear out these. Now we need to step in here in the circle, get in the circle. Okay, this priest really doesn't know what's going on. It's the same priest that, whatchamacallits, that didn't move in the first time around. We're going to have to spread these out over here. First, fourth coming through. It's going to hurt. I'm going to use a defensive here. All the lashers are up. I'm getting dispelled from the poison. That's very good. I don't have anti-magic shell, unfortunately, to prevent the poison application, but I'm being dispelled, so that's all that matters. Very nice. Drop another D&D. Boss is basically almost dead. We need to move. Ooh, I'm going to use... Okay, that got a bit messy, but I'm not too worried about it because the boss is almost dead. I needed to pay more attention to that. I should also probably use friendly nameplates so that I can actually find whoever it is I'm supposed to stack on top of and avoid other people as well. Okay, cool. That wasn't so bad. We may as well go do bird boss now. Pretty dang good. I don't know the percentage values in this dungeon, so I might be pulling... Did you see this? I just got bounced back right away. What the heck? I've never seen that before. Hope it doesn't do it again. Okay, well, I'm going to use some defensives here to make sure that I don't actually die from this. I'm going to stand in the corner here, use anti-magic shell. This is magic damage, I believe, so I'm just going to stand there. Storm slash coming through, also magic damage, still being helped up by my thingy thing with the stuffy stuff. Anti-magic shell, that's the word I'm looking for. I got to make sure I don't get stunned by this little tornado thing that's going out. I seem to be safe. There's another tornado coming out, so I have to move. Unfortunately, I'm sorry, Druid. I know that your Efflorescence is on top of me, but I just had to move. Otherwise, I would get stunned. And I think it does a good chunk of damage too. I think it pretty much one-shots on Fortified. Not that I've had an experience with Fortified yet, considering it's the first week if you've only seen Tyrannical. And I didn't play in Season 1. I only actually started doing endgame stuff in Season 2. And that was also like, I don't know, I just did some 20s and I was very proud of that. And I cleared Heroic with my guild back in the day. There's a bunch of Finnish people, which is ironic because my fiance is Finnish and has no clue who those people are. It's almost like not all Finnish people know each other. Who'da thunk it? Okay, I need to make sure I grab aggro here because somebody started blasting them before I could actually get a hit in. Gust coming through, but nobody's getting hit by it. Very good. We should also kick the call of the whatever the heck. There we go. Because that call of the whatever the heck makes them all go crazy and do a lot of extra damage. I don't know if it's a haste buff or like just a damage buff. I don't know what it does, but I know it's like an enrage effect. And here we're going to drop a D&D. We're going to jump up, try and reach the little birdies. We're going to grip that little birdie. We have no bone shield charges. Not good. Okay, we fixed that. I'm going to kick this one. Hopefully somebody kicks the other bird. Drop a D&D here. Somebody kick. No kicks. Unfortunate. I can't actually see what these buffs do, but I don't think it matters. Oof, I'm getting X'd to death. Maybe it does matter. Dang, I went pretty low there. I think I'm just chatting a bit too much and not focusing on my actual survivability. Okay, so at the third stack of the squeak thing or squawk or whatever the heck it is, I am going to go ahead and use the whatchamacallit, the orb that actually stuns the boss. Stun at 3 stacks. Ooh, move out of that, Jesus. We're gonna stun at 3 stacks of the debuff. Hopefully that works out. On higher keys, maybe you need to stun at higher stacks because you just can't let it, like you have to use, ooh, Savage Peck doing its damage. I knew that Savage Peck did a lot. I was sort of building up my bone shield stacks and everything instead of actually just prepping for that. We're gonna, oh, I could just move out of that. I don't know why I used my Death's Advance. Savage Peck coming through. This time I had a bunch of bone shield stacks. Bleed is still hurting though, so I gotta make sure I handle that. I also don't have Blood Plague on the target. That's not great. Okay, Deafening Screech number 2 coming out. Does basically nothing to me. Savage Peck coming through. That does a lot to me. That's a tank buster that really hurts. Third stack is coming through soon. People need to scatter out of that. Deafening Screech coming through. We don't have to immediately use it, but we should use it soon. Maybe to prevent a Savage Peck. Didn't manage to prevent the Savage Peck, but that's okay. I'm beefy. Bird is stunned. We don't have the debuff anymore. So what you're doing with the stun is you're preventing, or you're removing stacks of the buff. This is where we should Bloodlust and stuff if we have a Bloodlust available. Okay, now we have to do the little dance. Make sure we don't get wiped out. Savage Peck coming through. I'm going to use Icebound Fortitude to make sure I stay nice and healthy. I'm going to grab an orb. We don't need to use it just yet. Use it at 3 stacks. We only have 1 stack of Sonic Vulnerability, so I think we're fine. We can use Empiric Embrace to make sure we power through this. For the next one, I'm going to have my Dancing Rune weapon available, so I'll be able to generate a lot more runic power. Savage Peck. There it is. With more runic power comes more responsibility. What? I was thinking with great power comes great responsibility. Where did that come from in my head? But okay, we can basically use the thingy things now to stun the bird or remove the stacks, prevent any loss of life from occurring. I need to beef up a little bit. There we go. Okay. Now there's going to be little orbs here that we can pick up. This one, and that stops the knockback from affecting you. Obviously, you can use Death's Advance to prevent that, but also picking up the orb, I think, gives you a haste buff, so it's not for naught. Okay, that was a little bit hairy. I had a bit of trouble surviving that, but we managed to get through. That Savage Peck really hurts. Can't snooze on that. Now, hopefully I don't get knocked back right away. Okay, we're gonna blood boil here. Pull all of these guys. The scepter is what I'm looking for. Trying to survive magic damage here, so we're gonna use anti-magic shell. That gather wasn't the cleanest thing I've ever done in my life. Now here, people. Oh my goodness, Vlad, you snoozing. That breath was on you. You needed to move out of that. But yeah, here what we can do is we can line of sight the Ravager. If people do that when it's casting the Vicious Ambush, we can actually avoid taking damage. The person can avoid taking damage from that. I think it doesn't even do the breath then. I wasn't keeping great track of the scepter, so I didn't really see if I interrupted anything that needed to be interrupted. But it's no big deal. Okay, that was quite a pull. That was pretty rough for me, and only because I stood in the breath like a moron. So that's on me, I guess. Okay, looking at the scepter, we want to interrupt Mystic Blast. That thing blasts quite literally, and that Severing Slash also is quite a tank buster. When there's multiple battle axes, you might run into an issue where you just do not have, well, the stacks just kind of get to you. I'm gonna hold my dancing rune weapon because there's no chance I can get it back up for the next pull, and I really don't want to have to deal with the next pull without a dancing rune weapon. Death Strike really quick before we head into the next one, so I have a bit of a pad of 500,000. That's not bad. I think I'm just gonna pull this actually, and I'm just gonna use dancing rune weapon here. I have grippy hands for the next thing. These foragers are not on me. Rift Breath coming through. I think whenever it goes on the hunter is actually dropping Feign Death to stop the Ravager from doing the lunge. That's really good, actually. Good job, Hunter. Oh no, he's line of sighting. See, he does the line of sight, and then there's no chance that it'll actually lunge at him, because the lunge from the big one does big damn. Like, you don't want to mess with that. Do I go stupidly big with the next pull? I think I should. Why not? Vicious Ambush did go through. There's a textbook. I'm going to focus that one, and we're just going to hope for the best here. Now, I need people to give me just a second so I can gather up my thingy thing. Okay, we're going to Blinding Sleet this, and then we're going to try and move them. Monotonous Lecture. We're going to interrupt that one. I can taunt that. Okay. Dancing Rune Weapon is back up. I need Death Strikes. I need a D&D. I got through it. Now it's just about managing the textbooks. Monotonous Lecture. Somebody kicked it right as I gripped it. That's unfortunate. I don't have its sleet available, but I think the textbooks are gone. That's a rough pull to pull off, but we pulled it off. Pull. That sentence had a lot of pull in it. Okay. Well, here we go with the boss. Now, there's a technique to this. It's something to do with desyncing the actual, like giving him extra energy so that he doesn't overlap a certain ability. Like you're supposed to let the orbs go through so that he gets more energy, so that he does something at a different time. I don't know how to exactly do that. I'm just going to have people pick up a few of the orbs for me. There we go. Hopefully that isn't a knockback. I just used my, whatchamacallit, Death's Advance, so I don't get knocked back, because I don't actually know if that's a knockback or not. But yeah, anyway, another D&D. These are coming through. I can take multiple of these. Okay, people are running into them like crazy. I'm gonna point this away from El Jefe, and I need to make sure I regain my health after that. Arcane Fisher. That's the knockback. Okay, gotcha. We have a man down. Okay, we're gonna use anti-magic shell. CR is being handled by the druid. Love to see it. All the orbs are being absorbed. I should kind of try and let one go through. Okay, Arcane Expulsion actually does a good chunk of damage. I should look to anti-magic shell that. I'm gonna act like I'm gonna pick this one up, but I'm actually just gonna let it go through. Oh no, that killed the druid. Vlad, bad Vlad, bad. No, he CR'd the druid. I don't know if it's a safe spot for him to be CR'd into, but we're gonna have to figure that out. That was completely my bad. I shouldn't have toyed around when I don't know what exactly I'm doing. Druid was not ready for that. They got hit by something or the other. We use anti-magic shell and try to collect all of these. Them reaching the boss also does damage apparently, so that's something I didn't take into account. So, my bad. Maybe I just don't need to desync it at this key level. Or maybe I just need to rewatch Quasi's video and see exactly how he explained it, because I think I completely misunderstood that. And there's probably already 5 people typing up a comment telling me how stupid I am for misunderstanding it. Anyway, we killed it. So, I guess it doesn't really matter. I have no idea if we're good percent-wise or not, so I'm just gonna run the standard, like, run-through thing. Okay, I'm gonna grip these two because those actually cast something. The axe was casting the thing. Mystic Blast went through on someone. I need to look at the scepter. We're going to use the AoE CC that we have, which is, what the heck is this thing even called? Blinding Sleet. There we go. The sleet. I grew up on the sleets. That joke made no sense, but it kind of sounded like street, so yeah. Anyway, moving on. Another one of those jokes that are so bad they're actually kind of decent, like Fallen pointed out. And the joke I'm referring to is the Orc Tauren joke thing that I did in Brackenhide in the previous episode. Here I could do a big old pull, and I do have grippy hands, so I think I will actually. Well, first I need to actually heal myself so I don't die. Nah, I think this is good enough. This is good enough of a pull. Drop D&D, I'm going to stop here. I don't want to overdo it. There's no reason to. We got plenty of time. We're going to 2-star this easy peasy mode. I'm going to CC everything here. Maybe I should have let that Astral Bomb go through, actually, because people can use Astral Bomb to deal damage to the enemies as well. Astral Whirl coming through. We're going to grip that so we can interrupt the Astral Whirl. We don't actually have any melee DPS, so I don't know why I interrupted that Whirl. I don't really care about the damage from the whirl. I am going to go inside, which means I need to, well, I'm going to start grippy hands right now. Death Strike, Anti-Magic Shell, and Vampiric Embrace. Now we're going to try and make it inside. We're going to stand near the entrance. Now I need people to do AoE CC here so that we can actually survive this stupid pull that I did. We're going to grippy this one in so that everything gets grouped up. I don't have Sleet yet because I used it on the bridge earlier. Really need some AoE CC here. Sleet coming up in 4 seconds, but by then it'll be too late. I'm gonna grip this to interrupt that arcane missile. It worked out. Good job by the druid keeping us all alive. Very nice. Okay, last boss. So here the trick is to just make sure that we don't put the orb things or the portal things too far away from the rest of them. Maybe I should move the boss further away, but people seem to be pretty comfortable over there, so I don't see a reason to do so. I'm also meant to avoid these, so I'm going to try and do so. So what happens is at 3 stacks of this debuff that you see on the guy, you actually get you drop a portal, right? One of these that are spawning all the orbs. So you want to make sure, ooh, buddy, we don't have a CR for you, and that's the healer. That's not exactly great. Energy Bomb is on our hunter. He will get 1 stack of that. CR on the healer will go through soon, I think, once I have it available. Okay, there's another portal underneath the boss. I'm going to try and move the boss a little bit further away from the portal, just so when we get pulled in, people that there's a breath, people move out. Okay. People did move out. Do I have a CR? 35 seconds or so. You get pulled in. Lots of orb damage going through. I don't know how to actually position this boss. It's a bit of an issue. Energy Bomb on me. We're going to use Anti-Magic Shell. Maybe I could have immuned it with Anti-Magic Shell. Maybe you can reflect it as a warrior. Use Grippy Hands to increase my DPS on the boss. That poor shaman is taking a bunch of damage. Okay, the priest is dead, but I'm going to be honest, I don't really care about the priest. I care about the healer a lot more. CR, 3 seconds to CR. I need to get into a good position. Once I drop this, that's when I'll drop the CR. Ooh, I need Runic Power for the CR, Dancing Rune Weapon, Bomb on me again, use Anti-Magic Shell. There's a lot of portals. I don't really know where to stand at this point. Oh, that's an orb. People are running into orbs. Oh no, I don't want to get hit by orbs either. I don't actually know where to stand at this point. I don't have a good choice really. Hopefully the group can clear this out. This is a bit of a shit show. I'm just sitting here trying to avoid getting hit by things, I guess. Because if I get hit by any of the orbs, I'm going to drop a portal as well. Okay, well, I dropped a portal. We got vacuumed in. Yeah, this is rough. But I think we're just about done with the boss's HP as well. 2.3 million, that's good enough. I think I tanked this very, very poorly. So I think that's the mistake I did. I just didn't position it correctly. I positioned that horribly. Didn't die. No loot again. I'm apologizing to the group before the positioning on this boss fight. I'm not sure where to start and how to progress through the room, because you do kind of need to progress through the room. But I also feel like people got hit a whole bunch when they didn't really need to be getting hit. But maybe I was pulling them too close to portals by standing over here, because they're all ranged, so they're going to stand over there. Anyway, thank you for the run. Yeah, the hunters being honest with me, they say, I think you can do better, but yes. Okay, thank you for the run. We're going to leave the party, and that'll be that, I think. We're sitting at 785 rating with a ++4 Halls Halls of Infusion being our best key. Not too shabby. Pretty happy with it, to be honest with you. Didn't really do many keys, but the ones that we did do, we timed. We almost didn't time this. I almost said Algeth'ar Valley because AV makes me think Algeth'ar Valley, but we almost didn't time this Azure Vault because of my stupidity and overpulls. We have Nelthorus, Uldaman, and Ruby life pulls left. Now I don't think I can actually get those done inside of a video, so I think I'm gonna try and get these done like at least on a +2, maybe a +3 before the end of the week, but we'll see how that works out because I'm not 100% sure if I could do that or not. Anyway, that's pretty much the end of this video. If you enjoyed it, drop a like, let me know what you liked about it in a comment. If you had fun, make sure you subscribe because there's more episodes coming. And if you're feeling particularly generous, you could become a channel member. Channel members have guaranteed replies to their comments and they get nice little shout outs at the beginning of videos. But as always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next episode. Oh, and don't forget to check out my Twitch stream if you feel like it. It'll be fun, I promise.